Hey everybody, it's Billy Watkins with the Whole Package by Premier Packaging. Today we're going to talk to somebody that is not only a vendor but a customer for Premier, Acuity Packaging, and Steve James. I guess we're not talking to Acuity Packaging, we're talking to Steve.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So it's Acuity Packaging and Logistics Solutions, based here in Louisville, Kentucky. You are the Vice President of Sales.
That's correct.
Right? Talk to me. What's your background? Where are you from?
So I grew up in central Indiana. I was born into a good Christian family and raised on a dairy farm.
I want to talk about the dairy farm. What was that like? What do you have fond memories of working on a dairy farm?
I do. Actually, every day was a new day. Every day was something different. As a young kid, I took care of the babies and the stalls and keeping everybody clean and fed.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I was responsible for the milking and more critical responsibilities.
And some of the milking, I guess, is automated or whatever.
It was,
or you do,
yeah.
Okay, so but you're hooking them up to the machine.
Yeah. For lack of a better term, yes. Yeah. And you don't miss. It's dedication.
Yeah. Which I would assume taught you a pretty darn good work ethic. For later in life, right?
I was taught high morals, definitely hard work, and dedication, yes.
And are you do you get up every morning at 4 a.m.?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not if I have to. Those years are gone.
You're not lactose intolerant, are you?
I love milk.
Oh, good.
Amen.
But fast forward from that, you've got 27 years experience basically in the packaging industry, right?
Yeah.
And there was kind of an evolution of your career. Where'd you start? How did you get here?
So actually, I'm gonna back up just a minute.
Okay.
It's actually 35 years. I redid the math, and so I've been doing this a lot longer than I thought.
We lost a few,
right? So I've been doing this for 35 years. I started out. I was introduced after college to the packaging industry in Rhode Island, and just fell in love with it. There's always something new, something different. There's always a better way to do something,
right.
Always a better way to please a customer. I started out just back in the pre-press, printing blister cards and learning the press departments and all those nuances. And then migrated into thermoforming,
okay.
Which I didn't think I would like, but I absolutely fell in love with it. Came back to Indiana and opened a plant for those guys, along with my then father-in-law, and just kept growing from there.
Because you were a machine operator and setting the machines up and
that's correct. I was basically underneath the machine, just working on just wrenching all day long. And putting out good parts. Once you had your machines up and going, life was easy.
Right. It was the make readies that
it was
made you want to pull your hair out. Right?
Amen.
What is let's get into what is thermoforming.
So thermoforming is the definition is pretty defined, but basically it's heating plastic into a formable state, and then vacuum forming it over a mold that is specific to the shape that you want to end up with, and then subsequently die cutting that, be it on inline, which is what we do, or taking it offline, and you can die cut them that way as well.
What type of products lend themselves to thermoforming? What do you normally see?
Right. So in the thin gauge world, which is where we live, anything retail. So if you go buy a pack of batteries, that clear shell that's on the outside is a thermoformed shell.
It made like a light bulb's going off in everyone's head that oh yeah, these are the things that are can be impossible to open.
My 30-second elevator speech is that when you go to the store and you buy a knife and it's in the package that it takes a knife to get into the knife that you just purchased.
Yes,
that's us.
It's a crazy little oxymoron or something.
I
don't know. Yeah.
The more difficult we can make it for the consumer to get into it, the better off, because pilferage is huge.
Yep.
And obviously risk, loss prevention is huge.
Which is a good point, and I joke about the difficulty of opening them, but like just about everything in the packaging industry, there's a reason for it.
That's
right.
correct. That's right.
And a lot of thoughtful people have put a lot of time and energy into creating the best type of packaging for any particular type of product, and so theft, anti-theft is a huge part, right? And I would assume
protection, theft, presentation.
Yeah,
you
see exactly what you're getting.
A lot of those types of blisters are point of sale. They're impulse buys, so some things need to be in front of the customer, in front of the consumer, and then there's also the trays. We're in the automotive industry, so if there's a precision type component, whether it's electronic or mechanical, needs to be transported from its origin to the assembly point.
Okay.
And thermoform trays serve very well. They're clean, they protect very well, and they last a long time. So.
Yeah. So at that point, it's not just a one-time use thing. That I would assume that gets reused.
They can be,
okay.
Yeah, depending on their destination. Yeah.
Okay, right.
We hope they throw them away.
we want them to not reuse them.
Yeah, exactly.
So Steve, tell us a little bit more about Acuity, and specifically what it is that you guys do, because it's not just one thing, right? It's
correct. So our main core is thermoforming, and that's where we spent the most money, was on the thermoform machine, and then blister sealing. We have 7 blister sealers. So when it comes to that pack of widgets, batteries, whatever you want to put in them, pins, we can pack all those out.
I'm an idiot. Let's blister sealing is.
So basically, we're taking the clear plastic shell, the blister that we form on the thermoformer, taking it to another machine, placing it in the machine, putting the product in that blister in the tray, putting a card on that
so
position.
It's more of the plastic attached to a paper substrate.
Correct.
Yeah,
and then the heat is applied through the back of the card, which has a heat-activated coating on the front of the card, and adheres the blister to the card.
Okay.
And that can all happen in a matter of seconds.
Okay.
So it's a high volume type of application.
Yeah. And also, what about the logistics portion of the Acuity name?
So warehousing and logistics was something that we wanted to get into. And basically what it is we're adding, if we can add value to a portion of the customer's experience there, then we'll do that. Just to bring stuff in and their products in and just warehouse them, it's not that attractive to us. But what we'll do is we bring in products, we'll add value, reconfigure something, and then we'll warehouse it and distribute it as they see fit. Because we have a lot of our customers that don't have doors. They don't have doors and floors. They just have offices.
Right.
And so they need somebody to do everything for them. And so rather than transporting it to somewhere else for another warehouse to do those things, those functions, we offered that up. And it's been successful.
Okay.
We pick and choose who we want to do those things for. Because that can get out of hand.
Right. Yeah, you're basically almost running someone else's business at that point.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So, Steve, among some of the things that you all do, you also have some interesting certifications, correct?
We do. We are, since we're 100% woman-owned, we are in the WMBE or whatever that is. We have that certification, and then we also are ISO certified. We've been ISO certified since 2016. So we get re-audited every year, just like everybody, and that's always a challenge. But yes, it works out well. It keeps us on track.
Makes you better.
It makes us
There's
better.
There's a reason for it.
It is. And prior to that, we always followed those principles, so it wasn't a problem gaining our certification. We also have an ABC license through the state of Kentucky, so we can bring in tax-paid bottled spirits and repackage them into our favorite gift boxes that you would find at your local liquor store.
They have the tax stamp on them, and
they do.
They are. And I'm assuming you have within your facility they are like under lock and key.
Very secure. Yeah, very secure. Our entire plant is permitted.
Okay.
But yes, everything is very secure, and we have a fantastic group of people that I think that's probably the last thing in their mind, and that's why we have them. So,
Everyone
yeah.
knows. I mean, for those who don't know, that are watching out there, and wherever they're watching from is, I mean, it's bourbon country, right? And there's a lot of distilleries all around. So
Absolutely.
packing out that kind of stuff is a part of what you guys do, right?
It is, and supporting the thermoformed insert that goes into a lot of these gift boxes is very big business for us.
Nice.
And very much appreciated. We don't take any of those things for granted. None of our customers do we take for granted. But since we are in bourbon country here, you can go to any one of the big distilleries and find our components in there. So yeah.
I will do that.
Amen. There you go. We appreciate that.
How long have you guys been in business?
We founded the company in 2010.
Okay.
And began operations in Q2 of 2011.
Okay.
So in about a matter of 3 months, we located a building, purchased all the primary machinery, and we were up and forming by the end or by the middle of the second quarter in 2011.
So in the grand scheme of things, a fairly new company.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We feel like we're pretty new. With the experience that we have collectively, with the core team, we have over about 110 years of thermoforming experience, and so yeah, we're a pretty young 13-year-old team, or a 13-year-old company.
But you know what you're doing.
We like to think so.
So let's talk first about what Acuity as a vendor does for Premier.
Okay. So Acuity as a vendor, what we provide is basically some thermoform support that would go into something that the Premier engineers would create for one of your customers. We also have offered and provided some design work that would allow, and I'm pretty sure that some of those designs were either turned into paper or just went somewhere else. But we try to support your sales reps and your account managers and engineers as best we can, no matter the situation. But yes, then we turn, hopefully we turn those into production. We're working right now with 3 of your reps, and we have a lot of fun stuff going on right now.
Is it so it's kind of a constant flow of requests and that sort of thing? I mean, is it almost daily that we'll give you a call, or
it's
what?
not daily, but it's pretty frequent.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes it's multiple times a day, and then sometimes it goes a few weeks and we don't hear anybody.
The ebb and flow of business.
Amen.
Right?
That's the ebb and flow.
So let's turn it around. What is it that Premier does as a vendor for Acuity?
So Premier provides us with an undaunted support. Your sales reps are very knowledgeable, very seasoned, not afraid to look at anything, and so. But we buy all of our corrugated cartons, shipping cartons, some of the more printed materials,
Right.
some of the fancier type retail cartons, and then there's a lot of peripheral packaging that goes into a lot of these packages. So foam or bags
Right.
or corner
Inserts
boards,
of-
inserts,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. You have such a wide range of materials that you supply and provide,
Right.
that it makes it a nice partnership. So it's a one call, and I pretty much get anything I want.
We're a good fit then, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
we have opportunities, and we turn to you. You have opportunities, turn to us. Why do you think we're a good fit? Why do you like working with Premier?
Premier still has a small company attitude, in that you take every rep takes every job as its first or last job, but then you have the large company resources. So we can, if there's something that one person can't figure out, then you have a lot of resources behind that person to help out. And then also, one of the things that your large exposure gives us, or your large sales force gives us, is exposure that we may not be able to have
Right.
with just a limited force that we have.
Awesome. That does sound like a very good fit.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
What do you see? You've been in the packaging industry for a long time, so nothing probably surprises you at this
Nothing
point.
surprises us, nothing scares us, and we don't shy away from anything.
Any challenges?
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I try to also show. Is some people try to keep things close to their vest and not show their cards. I want to teach everybody everything about everything we do, so that you're more knowledgeable about what you can ask for, what you can provide. Even our customers, I try to educate them as much as we possibly can, as much as they want to know. But then also, what I tell folks that might be out there that aren't really looking for thermoforming, don't look past it. Just because you're not looking for it, you don't have to look past it. Now you have a resource.
And back to the thermoforming, we spoke about this offline a little bit. It's the pros of it we spoke to, but in terms of sustainability, there are a lot of options to offer customers. It's not just, people might shy away from plastic, but we were talking about the opportunities there for a lot of it's recycled, right?
Yes, all of our, nearly 100% of our materials are at least post-industrial recycled, which means that they stay in a closed loop.
Right.
And they'll either cycle through the extruder, or they'll cycle through the consumer, the manufacturer like us, and then we'll send it back to the extruder, and it stays in that loop, and it stays very clean that way. At the request of our customers, we will definitely introduce post-consumer recycled materials, as long as it functions, provides the cosmetics that are required, and is satisfactory in the whole scheme of that package. Now, we will always offer whatever the customer wants,
right,
or provide whether they want, but we're not going to force anything on them if they don't want it.
Right.
So.
But there are those possibilities for a more sustainable packaging design with plastic.
There really is, and plastic is sometimes looked at as the hated component because it's it has a bad rap. If there's a lot of good things about plastic, and the clear type of plastic that we use for a lot of products. It's the same type of materials that we're all drinking water out of.
Right.
Water bottles are recycled just like these packages can be. They're all curbside recyclable.
What else do you see down the road for Acuity?
So what we see some good steady growth in the next 12 to 18 months, and what we're just in the last month or so. Purchased a new machine,
yep,
and so we're bringing a new machine online. I know Premier just put a nice bank of new machines in and has really increased your capacity and capabilities,
yep,
and that helps us a lot too, because that cuts down. We all know what new machinery does. It goes faster and runs better,
right,
and it cuts down on your lead times.
Yep.
And so we're taking that same approach, and we have typically shied away from brand new machines. But this will be our brand new machine that will be delivered in October, and it will be fast and high speed and offer us some different capabilities, and which in the past I've had to turn down from some of your reps when they would come to us, but now I won't have to.
That's exciting. So a bright, growth-filled future.
Absolutely.
Right? Good deal.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Steve, for talking with us today. Everybody, this has been Steve James with Acuity Packaging and Logistics Solutions. I'm Billy Watkins with The Whole Package by Premier Packaging. So until next time, see you then.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.